What's up, powerlifting nation? So Pana has a problem. Pana is an extremely popular powerlifter in France, but also in the rest of the powerlifting community. He is also extremely strong in the under 66 kg class. He has won 2 IPF world titles in 2021 and in 2023. He's also been to 2 out of the 3 Sheffield events, and Sheffield is the most prestigious competition in powerlifting by far, so that's really impressive. But Pana has a problem. He has a decision to make, and both roads do not seem that great, to be honest. So after this video, I want you guys to comment down below. If you are in Pana's shoes, what would you do? And this issue stems from one thing mainly, and this is the fact that Pana is too big, as in too muscular, and too tall for the under 66 kg weight class. For reference, Gavin Aiden is roughly the same height as Pana, and he is in the under 93 kg class, and he actually struggles to get down to 93 kilograms sometimes. And Pana is the same height but 30 kilograms less than Gavin Aiden, despite having quite a bit of muscle. Also, most of the top lifters in the under 66 kg class are significantly shorter than Pana. And this is a problem because it means that Pana has to stay at a very low body fat percentage in order to remain a under 66 kg powerlifter. And there are 3 main problems because of this. Firstly, it means that the cut to get under 66 kilograms is quite difficult. His off-season weight is around 69 kg, and this means that he has to cut weight, and this results in him a lot of the time losing quite a lot of strength that he has had in his training, but he can't translate it into the platform because of the cut. Another reason is injury prevention. When you're at a lower body fat percentage, especially as a powerlifter, you're a lot more likely to get injured, which isn't a good thing as a top powerlifter. And then the final main big reason why a low body fat percentage is bad for Pana is because he's not really maximizing his potential as a powerlifter, his pound for pound potential. If he were to go up a weight class and gain a little bit more body fat, then he would definitely, in my opinion, gain a lot more relative strength. Why is this? Well, first of all, training at a low body fat percentage is not good in general. You just can't put in as much energy into powerlifting year round, which isn't ideal. And also leverage wise, sometimes you do want a little bit more body fat in powerlifting in order to kind of optimize your leverages. And also it means that you can't maximize your muscle growth. Because he has to maintain this body weight, he hasn't really been able to put on a lot more muscle because he hasn't been able to kind of bulk up, which is once again limiting his pound for pound progress as a powerlifter. And we see this reflected in his lack of progress in the last few years. In 2021, Pana totaled 700 kg in the under 66 kg class, and fast forward to 2025, he is still roughly around the 700 kg range. His last competition was 705 kg. At Sheffield earlier this year, he did 697.5 kg. So as you can see, his low body fat percentage has really limited the amount of progress. It has kind of stagnated his progress for the last 4 years. So from all the reasons I've given you, there seems to be one clear solution, and this is move up to the under 74 kg class and build up your total, start progressing, get a higher body fat percentage so that you can continue progressing, building up your total and become generally just a better, stronger individual. However, this is where the problem occurs. And the problem is that if we just look objectively, the under 66 kg class is a lot less competitive than the under 74 kg class. And this is the factor that has stopped Pana from bulking up and going to the under 74 kg class despite the lack of progress. If we just look at the world record totals before Sheffield 2025, so before January this year, the difference between the 74 kg total world record and the 83 kg total world record is a little bit more than 20 kg. The difference between the 83 and the 93 kg world record is about 40 kg. The difference between the 83 and the 93 kg world record is exactly 40 kg. The difference between the 93 kg world record and the 105 kg world record is about 40 kg. And the difference between the 105 kg world record and the 120 kg world record is about 40 kg. There's a bigger gap between the 120 class and the 120 plus class, just because the 120 plus class includes lifters that are substantially heavier than 120 kg, and so there's going to be a bigger gap in total. However, the two weight classes which are weak are the under 66 class and the under 59 class. And this makes sense because there are less men in general that can weigh 66 kg and 59 kg, especially if we take into account powerlifters, because powerlifters are going to have more muscle mass than the average man. So there is going to be a smaller talent pool for these lifters, and so we are going to see smaller relative totals in these weight classes. But the difference between the weight classes above 74 kg and below 120 kg is around 40 kg. However, the difference between the 74 kg weight class and the under 66 kg weight class is a massive 110 kg. This was before Sheffield. And so it's clear that it's going to be easier to achieve stuff in the under 66 kg class, do well at Sheffield because it's about breaking the world record by the greatest percentage. Also win world titles, win other events. And so this essentially meant that Pana was an extremely competitive under 66 kg lifter. If he went to any world championship in the under 66 kg class, he had a strong chance of winning the event. However, if he moved up to the under 74 kg class, it was very, very unlikely that he would be able to be competitive in that weight class. And so that is what kept him in the under 66 kg class. He didn't want to go up against Austin Perkins. He wouldn't have been able to compete against Austin Perkins. And first of all, this would have been bad for business because Pana has some really successful businesses in powerlifting, and his performances do help his businesses. Also, it must be difficult as a powerlifter to accept that you're going to go from being a world champion, a two-time world champion in the under 66 kg class, to moving up a weight class and not being able to even have a chance of winning the event, not have a chance of being invited to Sheffield, etc. So that's what kept Pana in the under 66 kg class. Despite everyone saying that Pana should bulk up to the under 74 kg class, he stuck with the under 66 kg class. And this made sense. In the under 66s, he could become a world champion. In the 74s, there was no chance, to be honest. But everything changed when Jiao Bakkelund cut down from the under 74 kg class to the under 66 kg class. Because the world record in the under 66s was 725 kg before Sheffield. However, after Jiao competed in the 66s at Sheffield, he pushed up this total to 770 kg. And his plan right now is to stay in the under 66 kg class. So this changed stuff for Pana. Before, a low 700 kg total would be enough to make him strong enough to have a chance of winning a world title in the under 66s. But now that Jiao was in the under 66s, 770 kg or at least 750 kg plus, is what would be needed to have a chance of winning a world title against Jiao Bakkelund. And then the second factor is that even if Jiao Bakkelund decided he didn't want to stick to the under 66 kg class, I know it's difficult for him to make weight in the under 66s. He has a lot of muscle, despite being quite a short person. He has a lot of muscle, and it means he has to be very lean, like Pana, to make weight in the under 66s. But even if Jiao decided to go up to the 74s again, this would still mean that it would be very difficult for Pana to do well if he was invited to Sheffield, because he would have to go over 770 kg just to get 100% of the world record in the 66s. And so whereas in 2023 and 2024 Pana had a good chance of doing reasonably well at Sheffield, now with the world record being at 770 kg, even if he was invited to Sheffield, it would be very likely that he would come in the bottom, I don't know, bottom 2 at Sheffield, which wouldn't be nice. So Jiao moving down to the under 66 kg weight class and obliterating the under 66 kg world record definitely ruined stuff for Pana, in my opinion. Before, Pana was a lifter that could come in, win a world title, do well at Sheffield, and now that all changed. And so the incentive for Pana to stay in the under 66 kg class has greatly reduced, and Pana has actually decided that after the World Games in, I believe, August of this year, Pana is going to bulk up to the under 74 kg class. However, is this a good decision? In the under 74 kg class, there is pretty much no chance, in my opinion, that Pana could beat Austin Perkins. And so there is no chance of him winning a world title, no chance of him being invited to Sheffield unless Austin Perkins gets injured. So that must not be a nice feeling, being a powerlifter who has won 2 world titles to being a powerlifter that needs someone to essentially get injured or really mess up in order to win. Yes, I think he could definitely podium in the under 74s consistently, but not being able to win must be kind of heartbreaking for Pana when he moves up, unless suddenly his total explodes. But I mean, I doubt it will explode to the level where he can really challenge Austin Perkins, because Austin Perkins is arguably the greatest pound for pound natural powerlifter we have ever seen. So I think it would be too much of an ask to ask Pana to get to that level. There's an 8 kg weight difference between the 66s and the 74s. And with that 8 kg, he would need to increase his total by about 120 kg to compete with Austin Perkins. So I don't think that's happening. So that's one disadvantage of bulking up to the 74s. Pana, if he stuck to the 66s, I doubt he would be able to beat Jiao Bakkelund. However, I think that Jiao Bakkelund isn't going to stay in the under 66 kg class for long. First of all, I think he likes his food. I think he will want to bulk up to the under 74s. Second of all, Jiao's training hasn't been going too well, and so I think that his total will stagnate in the under 66s, and I think that he'll just eventually decide to move up to the under 74s, where he can continue to increase his total. Also, he's less likely to get injured, which is good, especially because Jiao is 36 years old, so he's more likely to get injured. And if he isn't able to progress his total, there is no incentive for him to continue in the under 66 kg class, because he won't be able to perform well at Sheffield, because, I mean, everyone has leveled up, and he would need to progress his total in the under 66s by quite a bit in order to be competitive at Sheffield. So I have a feeling Jiao Bakkelund will bulk up to the under 74s soon. And so if Pana sticks to the under 66s and Jiao decides to move up to the under 74s, Pana could still kind of be competitive in the under 66 kg weight class. And he could get a few more world titles, maybe get an invite to Sheffield, and in general just continue to be a very competitive lifter in his weight class, whereas in the under 74s he wouldn't be able to compete for world titles in the under 74s. And yeah, this is the dilemma. Should he stick to the under 66 kg class, and in a year or so when Jiao moves up, he could still be a very competitive powerlifter in that weight class, or should he move up to the 74s and forgo kind of world titles and forgo having an even greater legacy in the under 66 kg class, just to be a lifter who is unlikely to be able to get world titles in the under 74 kg class? But I want you to comment down below, what do you guys think? Should Pana move up to the under 74 kg class like he has decided to do, or should he stay in the under 66 kg class? One thing is for sure, Jiao Bakkelund kind of ruined what Pana had going on in the under 66s at Sheffield. Me personally, I would move up to the under 74 kg class. This is controversial, but in my opinion, if I was in Pana's position, I wouldn't want to win world titles in a relatively weaker weight class. I would want to fulfill my potential and try and beat the best of the best, even if it seems impossible. I think that it is a fact the under 66 kg class was not competitive, and this has really helped a lot of under 66 kg lifters. Also, I'm someone that likes my food, so if I was Pana, I would bulk up. But I definitely see why there is an argument to say that he should stay in the under 66 class and continue his legacy there. But yeah, that's the end of today's video. Go and check out rp10.shop. We've got loads of cool t-shirts. This one is Friends Don't Let Friends Squat High. It's just a funny t-shirt, but I will see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all things powerlifting, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.